this conversation is for you. It's not that you're feeling weak. It's not because you are doing something wrong. Sometimes things are harder than what we think they'll be. And this is why we're having this conversation tonight as business leaders and entrepreneurs. And why is this conversation important? I thought I'd chat with this one because I've been thinking about it lately, and things have been heavy on different fronts. And the one thing that gets us disillusioned as entrepreneurs is when we see Instagram reels, when we see people, how well people are doing, and sometimes it feels like there's something that we're not getting right, that we are behind, and sometimes those feelings compound. Sometimes it's because business is slow, bills need to be paid, things need to be done, but aklangani, and we need to deal with that anxiety as entrepreneurs. And sometimes it's just because you're just feeling lonely, because this journey of business can sometimes feel lonely for you as an entrepreneur. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. And the main thing I just want to highlight, and that's on top of my mind, it's what Alex Homozy always says, is that part of the journey is that people clap at the beginning, people clap at the end, and people don't clap in the middle where you need it the most. And that really resonates with me, especially having built multiple businesses, to say when you're starting out, you're telling people you've got an idea. People are like, yeah, go Timby, go. We believe in you. This is so amazing. Then you put together your launch day, then you're launching and everything's amazing. People are out there to support you on launch day. People buy. And in the beginning, people are there. They're cheering you on. And that's just the nature of it. It doesn't make people bad, but they're in the beginning. And then there's the part where you actually need to build the business. That's the part when you're getting your customers, where you're marketing, where you're delivering, where you're learning, you're failing, you're iterating, you're failing forward, as we would say in the software industry. And during those times, those trying times of iterating, going forward, backwards, trying something and walking your journey, there's not a lot of people to clap for you. And it does get really lonely. And sometimes it's lonely when people don't show up to buy. Sometimes you need to pay supplies yourself because you believe in this thing. You need to rack up the capital. You need to raise the capital for this idea that you believe in. And it's lonely, right? And then a lot of people give up in this missing middle because it's hard. There's a few people around you, and it doesn't seem as if things are going your way and you are as successful as you want to be. And then you get to the end of it. There's never an end in life, but humor me with this example. You get to the end of it, whatever business you're in. Let's say you land the major contract. Let's say you're a music producer, you get the deal. You're an artist, you get the deal. Whatever your end goal is. And that's when you're back in the media. That's when you're back in the socials. That's where you're back saying, hey guys, I did it. And a lot of us see the beginning, we see the end, and we forget about the long journey in the middle. So there's nothing new to this. It may not be that you are doing something wrong. It's just the nature of the beast. People will clap for you in the beginning because they're there to support. In the middle, it's quiet season. It's a season where you need to face off with you. You need to challenge yourself. You need to get better. You need to keep growing this thing, planting, sowing, and that's where you grow. And then you'd get to the end where things are celebrated. And this middle part, the reality and the sad part about it, for some people, it's fast. A matter of days, a matter of weeks, and we call them lucky. But for a major majority of people, this middle part takes months. It can even take years. That's why I'm even calling the series the long game, to say when you're playing the long game, be prepared for the middle. That's when you are learning, you are growing. So what do you do when people are not clapping for you in the middle? Don't be a hater. Don't be out there saying, hey, people, so those social media posts that are always bashing on people. I personally don't believe in that. I believe that everybody has their task, everybody has their purpose, and everybody's walking their journey. So we can't expect people to always be there for us. And that season, I think it's there by design. I'm speaking about this quiet season, this lonely season with relation to business, but it's there for everybody. It's there for people studying. It's there for people learning a craft. Think of it as athletes. Athletes, we see them on the world stage. We see them, it's World Cup now. We're busy clapping for them. But who's clapping for the guys when they are at gym? Who's clapping when they are doing the drills? Who's clapping when they are practicing and playing those friendly matches, going to training, however much training they do? So this is nothing new under the sun. So use the season wisely, use the season to grow yourself, because it is what it is under the sun. And then another thing that happens is that makes a business feel lonely is when you feel like you're doing everything right, but things aren't moving. This one for me, it's has been a difficult one, and I've chosen to label it as planting season, waiting season, and acknowledging that results take time. And something I've also learned to work on in my mindset is, in our mind, we've got the idea of ourselves, the idea of how we look, how we come across, and how things work, and how we are presenting ourselves. And sometimes there is the reality. And we need to keep going at it, keep planting, keep getting ourselves better for us to get to the level that we think we're playing at. So sometimes we think that we're doing everything right, things are slow, but we haven't fully mastered the game. And what has worked for me then is to actually approach people who I think are doing well in this area, have coffee. I've had good success with people just being open to share, to be like, hey, how do you do this? Then they'll tell me that these are the strategies I follow. This is the type of material I read. These are the type of people I hang out with. Hey, have you met this person? And then they start helping me, shaping me, and shaping my thinking. So when you feel like you are doing everything right and things are still heavy, things are still tight, I'm suggesting and putting it out there to be like, get into community with other entrepreneurs, people who are doing the same, and also target people who you can see are doing better than you in that area. And speaking about my journey as well, I've been so surprised that people in the industry actually just share. They're open to sharing. And I also say that sometimes we expect a lot from people, but people will help you along with your thinking, and also just use this time of slowness for true reflection of, are you really playing at the level you want to play at? Are you the person that your suppliers, that your customers, that the people you want to be in those circles are looking for? And many times during the season, we need to be the person. We need to grow into being the person that we think we are and that we need to be. So slow season doesn't mean that you're always wrong. It gives you a time to reflect, honestly connect, and see what you can change, where you just need to be patient. Because sometimes patience is a virtue, and wisdom will show you where you need to be patient and where you need to change strategy. Another thing that makes business feel heavy is uncertainty. This one is quite a big one for me when it comes to uncertainty, because it is business and things can be very uncertain. Sometimes you are living the dream, you've got things unlocked, and sometimes you actually don't know where the next cash flow, the next thing is going to come from. And it reminds me of the Lord's Prayer where Jesus says, give us this day our daily bread. And sometimes I've lived in that situation. Just to share a story, I think it was 2024. We were staging a concert for my childhood friend Ayanda Nene in KZN. We did our best. We went all out. That concert was self-funded. It was just us, the organizing committee, and ticket sales, and our pockets. And we were putting this thing together. As you know, being in the events industry, when you're trusting ticket sales, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And at that moment, we were using just our faith and pure grit as entrepreneurship, where we are selling tickets, securing the artists, securing the band, securing the venue, securing the production, securing everything to make this deal come together. And there was so much uncertainty in that. Uncertainty to be like, will the people actually show up for the show? Uncertainty to be like, will we have enough funds to pay everybody that we've committed to? So what I'm highlighting there is that this thing is about uncertainty. We mitigate the risk, but there's some level of uncertainty that you'll need to deal with. I remember when all plans were done, we're running low on funds. I had promised the band, it was the singers, where I was like, hey guys, when you get off stage, you'll get your money. I'd paid so many people as the per person who was heading the budget at that time. And the level of uncertainty really weighed on me. During the concert, I remember sitting down at the on the step, facing down, literally praying to God. I'm like, God, give us this day our daily bread. I had no other option to turn to, because that's just how things were at that time. Lo and behold, God came through. Funny story, a customer who had owed us for over 4 months. We had been chasing this customer for this invoice. I don't know how it happened. It was a Saturday, public holiday. And lo and behold, that invoice clocked on that day. It was 8 p.m. when the notification came. So what am I trying to highlight? Uncertainty. As business people, we deal with uncertainty. And that's just something that we need to just grow in. I love what Stephen says, Dari, the CEO, to be like, if there's one thing that separates those entrepreneurs who make it and those who don't, it's the level of comfort with uncertainty, where you try something today, it works or it doesn't work, and you move with it. Sometimes we wait for very long for things to be certain. What's my responsibility? We are comparing ourselves, and sometimes we're disappointed, but it's just that muscle you need to build. And making decisions in uncertain times, for me, I find that hectic. And it's something you learn. You learn scenario planning. You look at the options, like, okay, these are the 3 options in front of me. What other option am I not seeing? If I go this route, what can go wrong? If that goes wrong, what can I invoke step 2? If step 2 goes wrong as well, what can I invoke as step 3? So those are the scenario plannings that you learn during uncertainty. And to be honest, it's not easy when you're in the thick of things. And a lot of things that weighs us down as entrepreneurs is financial uncertainty, where you don't know where your next cash flow is going to come from. When things have been so quiet, you've braved it. We always speak about savings. You've saved. Now you've eaten into the savings. Now you need more money to cover bills. You need more money to fund the job. You just need a lot of things, and you're not sure how it's going to come together. Breathe. It's part of life. Secondly, look to your network, look to other people who can help, and just train yourself to brave uncertainty. Because entrepreneurship is not just financial, it's also emotional. And a lot of people face a lot of difficulties mentally, especially when things are not going right. Hence, I'm just harping on this question of uncertainty, because that's when a lot of people give up. A lot of people, and that's where that's where you brave it up. And I'm I will always advocate to every entrepreneur to say it's important to be in community, be in community with like-minded people. Sometimes you will curse yourself, sometimes you'll be harsh on yourself, sometimes you'll be like, hey, what's going on, and are ready to give up, only to speak to somebody and they'll tell you, hey, keep going. I remember another funny story is when I first started to implement commission in my company. I did the research, tried it, it failed, and then I was like, oh, tried it again. And I remember the first time I paid it, I felt like, whoa, I'm losing so much money to commission. And I went to speak to a supplier of mine. I was like, hey, how do you do this, dog? And I'm feeling the weight of it. Funny enough, he just laughed at me and he was just like, don't worry, keep paying, you're doing the right thing. And what am I highlighting here? I'm highlighting that get into community with entrepreneurs, get into community with people who will help you when things don't make sense to you, when you think that you should be taking a different route. Just get into community with people who will share ideas and direction with you. And another thing that makes entrepreneurship heavy is starting to question if business is really worth it. And those days you question yourself, as I keep repeating, the scenarios are generally the same. One of my stories, I think I've questioned myself a couple of times. I'm trying to think which one. There was one, two events that went so horribly wrong. And when I tell you horribly wrong, I kid you not, I'm not exaggerating. I think one of them was it was a dinner. Sound was just awful. The engineer we'd hired didn't know what to do. It was just horrible. It was bad. And after surviving that gig, by this much. I remember my business partner and I at the time, we sat at Southgate McDonald's. That was our shareholder meeting at the time. And we were busy lamenting our woes. And we were actually asking ourselves to be like, is this really worth it? Is it worth putting ourselves through such humiliation with customers? Is it worth humiliating ourselves, because both of us are pretty much high achievers. And when we sat down at that McDonald's, there was so much pressure on us and that feeling of being a failure that we questioned ourselves to be like, is this thing really worth it? Can we not be doing better things with our time? And I'm grateful that we actually was, I don't know what we ate that day. If it was, I can't even remember the budget, if it was a Big Mac or there was ice cream, but I'm grateful that even in the disappointment, even in the pressure, we pushed through the disappointment, we pushed through that failure, and we decided that it was worth it. So as an entrepreneur, there are many pressures. The biggest pressure I face is pressure of getting new clients. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's dry. There's that pressure of sales. There's that pressure of cash flow. Sometimes you're doing the work, you're getting those big contracts, but the money is just haphazard. 1 minute you're balling, everybody's paying at the same time. The next minute there's no cash flow, but expenses are standard. I remember I was even at Checkers, was it last year? I was running through the aisles and asking myself, yeah, is this worth it? Like where it was month end, bills were looking at me and cash flow was just tight. So those are the things for me that bring me pressure. Sometimes it's the pressure of growth, where you need to grow, but you don't have the resources to grow. That's part of the pressure that I've experienced and have used different strategies to mitigate it, but it doesn't alleviate the pressure nonetheless. And the biggest pressure, as I've highlighted in the second point, is the pressure between the reality in your mind, where you feel that you need to be and where you are today realistically. That psychologically is called cognitive dissonance, and a lot of people buckle through or under that pressure. So when you ask yourself, Is business worth it? Check. What are you doing? How can you get better? Most importantly, who can you get in community with so that you can walk the journey with them? And then closing off on this one is that business is a long game and it's not always glamorous. Social media is good. Social media is cool. Social media exposes us to what people are doing out there and what's working for people and what's not working. But we need to be careful around it in terms of understanding that social media, especially for business people, it's a marketing tool. And what do you do in marketing? You put your best foot forward. Think of any Fortune 500 company, think of any company you admire. Everybody's got problems, and not everybody is posting about their problems on social media. Another thing that makes us feel heavy with our businesses is when we compare ourselves with people on the socials, people who would have made it. Some people will post beautiful things that they're doing, and guess what? They're an intern on that contract. Some people will post beautiful things that they've achieved. Guess what? They aren't paid for that contract. So yes, marketing value is there on socials, but you'd find that they are dying or they are facing another problem behind the scene. So when you see social media, use it as inspiration, but do not use it as a measuring stick or a judgment factor for your own journey as an entrepreneur. Because guess what? Everybody's hustling. I've seen this in the corporate world. I've seen this in the business world. I've seen it in different spaces that some people are just hustling and they look more professional. They look more demure, but everybody is facing some sort of trouble, some sort of problem, some sort of challenge that they are not broadcasting to the world. And speaking of social media, I invite you to please put your comments on the chat and let me know what inspires you when a business feels heavy. And I want to leave you with a couple of things. And the one thing I was listening to Will Packer's book, and I love what he says, that even when things are feeling heavy, if you want what others don't have, you must be willing to do what others won't do. And this is us as entrepreneurs. We've got dreams, we've got visions, and we want things that other people don't have. And we need to do what others don't have. So be encouraged. A lot of people are dreamers. A lot of people have things they want to achieve, but not everybody is a doer. But you, as an entrepreneur, you as a business person, you have started something. You have walked this journey. You have started to do things, and you are way ahead of many people who just dream. So as you walk this journey, as things are feeling heavy, it is how life was designed. Keep in mind that people will clap in the beginning, people will clap when you've made it. But the journey in the middle, between starting, between ending, and that middle journey is tough, and you need to brave it out. So if you want what other people don't have, you need to do what other people won't do. So let's get into the chats. Nana, thank you for the encouraging message saying that I'm an inspiration. So, thanks for that encouragement. And you, as a business person as well, you are an encouragement to different people in your circle, different people in your communities. You won't understand the amount of times I hang out and with people, and they're like, hey, I like what you're doing, I like what you've done, this has inspired me, this is what I've done because of what I've seen you do. So be encouraged as well as a business person, as an entrepreneur. Even though people may not say it, you are an inspiration to someone around you. Still inviting you to put any comments on the chat. And as I wrap this one for tonight, thank you for joining me on the long game. Always a pleasure to be with you and chat around things that affect us as entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders for the long game. So even though things are heavy, even though things are time. And if you are happy and things are great on your side, I celebrate you. I'm excited for you. Save this video for when things are tough and when you're feeling guilty. This video will be here waiting for you. So always a pleasure. Please DM me. Please get in touch. Please also subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And if you know anybody who would benefit from this content I share around business and leadership, please share the link with them so that we can be inspired as a nation and keep building together. And with that, peace, fam. See you next week on The Long Game.